Hello, Mike Daniels here with Rancho Coastal Properties Property Management. And today I want to talk to you about self-managing versus having professional property management. And you know what? There's no right or wrong. If you have the time, the inclination, and the knowledge to self-manage, then more power to you. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to point out a few things, and then I have a surprise for you at the end. Okay, so the first thing you want to consider is, do I have the time? All right, so do you have the time to actually manage the property? Are you in the same city, the same area? Can you get over to the house at 3 o'clock in the morning when the tenant calls you and says the water heater's busted? Um, when they call you and they need their toilet fixed, there's all these things. Do you have the time when they leave the house to turn it over to manage all of the contractors to get it painted or recarpeted or having to deal with appliances? So do you have the time for all that? If you do, then that's wonderful. If you don't, then that's one thing to consider. Okay, next thing is consideration number two is, do I have the temperament? So, if you drive by the house and you see they have the car parked on the lawn, are you going to flip out and go knock on the door and tell them to get the heck off the grass? Or if they have a pet when they're not supposed to have a pet, how are you going to handle that? If they don't pay the rent on time and they call you and they say, hey, listen, we don't have the rent, how are you going to address that? Are you going to say, yeah, sure, it's okay, or you can pay a partial payment, or well, get me when you can? I mean, what are you, or are you going to say, are you nuts? I'm going to kick you out of the house. So, do you have the temperament for this? This property management, it's more of a managing people than it is the property themselves. I think that you have to be very people oriented to work with them to get them to do what you want. And you have to have the proper expectations or set the proper expectations with your tenants to make sure that they follow through with what they say they're going to do as per the lease. Okay, the next thing, consideration number three is, do I have the knowledge? Boy, there is a lot that you need to know about to stay out of trouble as a property owner and property manager in California these days. Just within the last couple of years, just within this year, I think we have 5 new bills or laws that came out. I was looking at them this morning. There's SB 712. That's where the tenants have the right to store their mobility, bikes and scooters in the house, and you have to provide them with the ability to do that. And there's SB 567. That's a new rule on evictions and having just cause to get the tenants out of the property. There's AB 1620, which is the mobility accommodations. There's a few others. There's AB 1765 that streamlines the screening fee. There's SB 602. There's AB 12 that affects your ability to collect how much of a deposit or rent you can take. So if you have the knowledge, great. But if you don't and you don't stay on top of these new laws, then you could find yourself in a world of hurt with the state and set yourself up for penalties, fees, or even litigation, depending on how far the tenant has to push it. So, I mean, just getting the deposit back to the tenant is a big deal now. I mean, you have a certain amount of time, it's 21 days, and if you deduct anything out of there you need to have if it's over $125, you need to have it itemized. So you really need to have your knowledge down and be aware of what you're doing, and to have the vacancies and to have potential penalties. Maybe property manager is the way to go for you if you're thinking about maybe stepping back from that. If not, if you're going strong, more power to you. But in the event that you may be thinking about hiring a property manager, whether it's us or another property management company here in San Diego, there are a lot of great property management companies out there. But here's something that you can use that we came up with. It's a free report for you. And what it talks about is the 8 key considerations for owners or investors when you're signing or when you're reviewing or when you're hiring a property manager on the contract itself in the California Property Management Agreement. So there's 8 key considerations, and if you know these going into it, there are 8 gotchas that won't get you. Okay, feel free to shoot me an email or call me if you need it, and I'll get it right over to you, no obligation. In the meantime, if you're a current client and we're your property managers here at Rancho Coast Properties, don't worry, we got you covered. And if you're not and you're maybe thinking about looking for property management, we'd be honored if you gave us a call and talk about your property. And best of luck to you. Mike Daniels, Rancho Coastal Properties. Bye-bye now.